Welcome back to your soon-to-be favorite podcast. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is
Here We Grow. What's up, guys?
Hello.
We are back, and we have a little bit of a different background.
Yes.
And
Merry Christmas.
I have this uploaded on YouTube. Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler. Merry Crisis.
Happy Toyota-thon. Hopefully I have this uploaded to YouTube by the time you're listening to this so you can go look at it, or, you'll see it in our thumbnail, but...
We're taking an actual good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a pose for a thumbnail?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we have a Here We Grow sign. It's a neon sign that says Here We Grow.
Shout out to Mario.
And Mario also got us a Christmas tree. So
Isn't he so sweet?
He's really investing in the podcast lately.
I love it.
Shout out to Mario.
He's the best.
I feel like I was going to say something else. Oh, how was your week? Let's do that first.
It was okay. It was good. I had Friday off. Wait.
Today's Friday.
Oh.
It's all mixed up.
I completely skipped a week.
Yeah, earlier Michelle walked in when I was at work earlier today. She goes, "Oh yeah, last week." And by last week, I mean 2 days ago.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, last weekend, I did nothing. Like, I haven't had a chill weekend in a long time. I'm the kind of person that says yes to everything because I have FOMO, but not necessarily like FOMO of like, I want to do stuff, but it's when someone asks me to do something, if I say no, then I'm like, well, what if something happens to them? And that was my last chance to hang out with them. Or what if something happens to me? And blah, blah, blah.
True OCD thoughts.
I know. But work, another slow week, but that's okay because we're going to pick up Monday. It's the first of the month or first week of the month. So it's going to be crazy. End of year. Yeah, so it's going to be really, really busy. Kind of looking forward to that because it's been kind of slow. But chill, we had a pitch-in cookout at work. I made a cornbread casserole. Mm-hmm.
Did everybody bring good food?
Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
The CEO, he, smoked some brisket and put it in his chili.
I want a smoker.
Ooh.
I want to start smoking some shit.
Yeah. You would go
some
down.
Meat.
You would get down with the.
I would get down.
Yeah.
I want to smoke a ham.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm going to smoke a turkey.
Ooh.
I'm going to smoke a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I've had smoked chicken breast at one of the weddings that I officiated. The husband was a big smoker guy. And this sounds so funny. It's like when the guy who puts up the blinds, you call him a blind guy.
I didn't know this is a profession.
It is. We're getting blinds at work and we call the guy the blind guy. Anyway.
And if there's more than one, the blinders.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there a show called the Bleaky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders. Bleaky.
the Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah, he did the food for his own wedding.
Oh,
and it was real. I mean, the smoked chicken breast, just smoking it makes all the difference.
No, I mean the chili was probably the best chili I've ever had. Yeah, it was really good.
That's offensive.
Second best chili I've ever had. It's very good. Yeah, people put Fritos in their chili.
Yeah, Travis says that.
I was like, what's this for? And they're like, you put in your chili. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Travis says that.
Interesting.
Some people eat chili with cornbread. Some people eat chili with cinnamon rolls.
Oh, hard pass.
Yep.
Weirdos.
It's kind of like, at Boogie Burger, people used to order chili burgers and put peanut butter on it. Do you remember that? We had to add peanut butter to the burger menu because people wanted to add peanut butter to their burgers. I
kind of remember that, yeah.
And it was originally only in the, dessert stuff.
Ugh. So gross.
Where were we talking? We're talking about smoking.
We're talking about the week.
Yeah, continue.
Oh, well, then it was Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Super nice. We went to 3 different parties. Mario's mom, my mom, and then his friends.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot.
Yeah.
But
your social battery was
I know,
drained.
at the end, I just sat there and he was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just
exhausted.
I'm done.
Cooked,
but
full.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was good. And then
what was the best thing you ate on Thanksgiving Day?
Oof. My mom's pozole. I mean, it is what it is, you know?
Did you have like classic Thanksgiving food anywhere?
So at Mario's mom, she made ham, turkey, spaghetti. There was sweet yams, sweet potato casserole. That was really good that his sister made. Mm-hmm. There's a salad that was really good. Oh, yeah. My mom made pozole, but then everyone else like brought other sides. There was mashed potatoes and like mac and cheese and stuff. And I had that today. And taquitos, flautas. I know.
Ooh, I want to make some taquitos this week now that you said that.
Yeah. And she made Mexican punch. Yeah.
Let's make taquitos next Friday.
Okay.
Okay. You're just in for the ride.
Oh, wait, I can't next. Ooh. This is a bad time to tell you, but we're going to have to change the recording date next week.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That wasn't that
We'll
bad.
talk about that after.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then today, we went to Mario's apartment and we packed up some things because he's moving in.
Yeah, he's moving in tomorrow.
That is crazy. I never would have thought.
Yeah, that's
Wild.
pretty insane.
I know. I'll be living with the boy.
I know.
I'm just kidding. He's great. He's a good housemate.
Housemate.
Just kidding.
Well, he's proven himself already by being here already. It's
Yeah.
not like you haven't spent multiple nights with him or he's not been here.
Yeah. I don't foresee anything like majorly changing. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And that'll be tomorrow. So it'll be pretty hectic. And yeah. How was your week?
It was good.
I like how we're both like swaying in our chairs.
I know, we just can't sit still. Sit still. I was just thinking that right before you said
never
it.
had like
Swivel chairs.
Yeah, so now we're just
So now the chairs that we get, like the actual accent chairs, they have to be the swivel kind so that we can like
okay. So we're on the lookout for chairs. So if you guys see like cheap Nos
matching
chairs,
accent chairs.
Yes, swivel. Let us know.
Or not swivel, but
You know what?
preferably.
We should go check out that furniture store this weekend.
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay. Because you know all the moving that'll be happening tomorrow.
We'll have to figure out a time.
And then get Mario to come bring the chairs in on Sunday.
Yeah.
No, my week was good. Work was good. Some of the new projects we're working on are really picking up, and we're going to be doing I've been invited to a demo for one of the projects next week with the
I
owners.
asked you how that meeting went. Did you message me back?
I did. Demo will be next week. There's other personal stuff going on next week that I'll have to tell you about. Remind me to tell you later.
Oh.
It's not my business, which is why I'm not saying it on the podcast.
I love not my business.
It's not my business, but
See, look, okay, when I went over to my mom's house earlier today, I had to look at Mario. I'm like, look, we're not gossiping, okay? We're just updating each other on things that we know.
I've noticed lately you seem very concerned about what Mario thinks of your family.
I know.
You're like, hey, I have to preface this first.
Oh my God. Today, my family has stepped into something completely new.
Yeah.
And I just looked at Mario. I'm like, look, it's 2024. Okay, please no judgment. I don't even know what to tell you at this point. Just go with it.
Knowing Mario's the least judgmental person on earth.
Literally so chill.
So
he's
it's
just
funny that
cool.
you're even prefacing at all. But anyway, so yeah, and then I hosted my family on Thursday, which you didn't know about till the day before. I didn't even tell you that I was doing that.
Because you need a deviled eggs tray.
Yeah, my deviled egg tray I left over here. And my knives.
Yes. I'm getting serrated knives tomorrow.
Yay! I've always made fun of Angelica because she didn't have serrated knives in her kitchen.
How'd that go?
It went good. All the food came out really good. The ham was so good. The ham was probably the best thing I made.
Your guys' ham for Friendsgiving.
It's all about the cut you buy. I've been preaching this to everybody I know. If you buy a cheap ham or if you buy the wrong cut, it's going to taste like lunch meat.
Ugh.
Like when you slice it, it's going to be like thick lunch meat.
Mm.
The trick is, I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? The trick is the butt portion and bone in.
Butt portion, bone in. You heard it
And
here.
when you
heard it here first, folks.
Oh, we haven't said that in so long. When you look at the front of the ham, like the open face part where you can see the meat that you're going to be eating, you want to see, and I know this is going to sound gross when I say it, but you want to see ligaments. you want to see like fat in between pieces of the ham. If it's just a perfectly flat, like just the light meat ham.
Yeah.
I'm literally drooling talking about this. I'm like, then it's going to cut like lunch meat. You want the dark and the light meat on the same, like when you look at the face of the ham.
Okay.
And bone-in makes it obviously fattier because, you know, it's bone-in or whatever. But
so when Anthony got the ham, did you guys FaceTime?
No, I sent him, I did my research first because I needed to make sure that it was the right kind. And I sent him, remember he read the text. It said bone-in, butt portion, and not pre-sliced. Which pre-sliced is fine because I think the one he did get was pre-sliced because of the whatever. That's like not the important part. The important part is the butt portion. And then secondary is bone-in. And then tertiary is sliced.
Okay.
But I told him all that, and then he sent me a couple of pictures to confirm, and then we picked one. But yeah, it was really good. The ham was good. We had turkey, ham, mac and cheese, corn casserole, mashed potatoes and gravy. Basically all the same thing as Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
Green beans, rolls, and then my dad's chicken and noodles, which I'll have to make for you sometime because I don't think you've ever had them. But
I've had them from a coworker. They're pretty good.
With the frozen noodles?
With it. What?
Maybe they're not the same because everybody's chicken and noodles are different.
I'm realizing that everybody's everything is different.
That's very true.
I love it.
I also made my famous pretzel dip, and I made deviled eggs.
Yes.
I'm going to have to make more pretzel dip soon because I was like smashing that shit.
It's a good app.
Such a good app. Oh, if you want the recipe, let me know.
I'll let you know. I want the recipe.
It's super easy to make too. Like you can just
see. That's what people say.
No, this one truly is easy.
No. I'm telling you, like I've started cooking a lot recently because I live by myself, and before that, when people would be like, "Oh no, it's so simple. You just boil." I'm like, "Look, I don't even want to hear it. It already sounds complicated." But then when I started making things, people are like, "Oh my god, this is." I'm like, "Oh, I just literally mixed it all together and put it in the oven. Like it's not that hard."
Like corn casserole.
I get it. Yeah. I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah." Things really aren't hard. So when people like create videos on the internet of them literally throwing shit together in the kitchen that's disgusting, I'm like, bruh. All you gotta do is Google.
Yeah.
Or like download a recipe.
Well, and I had said before, I think your main issue before was that you were overthinking too much.
Yeah.
Like, what if I mess this up? What if I mess this up?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I was saying, like, you just need to have more confidence in your ability to figure it out.
No, so seriously, because I was making chicken salad, and I kind of got like a little bit in my head, and I was kind of being a little how do I say, like tense with Mario because he was there with me and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, this was after we were done. I'm like, okay, this is what's going through my head. These are the thoughts that I have in my head. I don't know why you're fucking trying so hard. This is going to taste disgusting and everyone's going to hate it. I'm like, that's the kind of thoughts I have in my head right now.
Well, also another thing I just thought of before I forget it, is part of your OCD might be affecting like the perfectionist part of it. Like it needs to be perfect or it's going to be shit. And there's some room in the middle. Like there's some room between perfect and shit. Yeah. That's still good. You know what I mean? Like not everything I make is perfect. Yeah. Every so often I am like, damn, I really did it this time. Yeah. But most of the time it's above average or average. So,
you know what Mario told me?
What?
Stop. Be kinder to yourself. I was like, I know you're right, but it's hard. Yeah. And then we cooked together again for our family dinner, and then he was the one freaking out. Yeah. So I had to look past my anxiety, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. Like no one's expecting perfection. Like how you said, like, hey, it's okay.
This is your own family. Yeah. You just have to be yourself.
And I told him, I was like, look, if they don't like it, we'll just order something. It's really okay. Like,
and there was more food coming, so it wasn't like
my mom to save the day. Yeah. I was like, it's gonna be okay.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely the confidence in the kitchen, I'd say you're right. That's what it is.
Not just confidence that you can do it.
Too many confidence. Too much, not too many.
Too many confidences. Not just confidence that you can do it well, but confidence that you could figure it out.
Yeah, like
if you mess something up, or you need to add something, you can just adjust. Yeah. And then of course there are certain principles like you can't oversalt too much because then you can't take away. Yeah. Or you can't over sweeten because you can't take away. You want to go small. Yeah. So anyway, I I had to work today. But it was super slow. The clinics that we serve were not even open. So we came in and we did the little bit of work that we had in the queue. And then I left at 2:30 or something.
Oh, nice.
And then I went to Meijer, and I was thinking of you because I knew you were at Mario's apartment, which is next door to the Meijer that I went to.
I know. I told him, I was like, say goodbye. Like, I was like, dang, like, how does it feel to go from Carmel to the hood?
Yeah. Which this is a nice neighborhood, but everywhere surrounding is the hood.
Yeah, like my neighborhood is, you forget where you're at, and then you step out onto the main road, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in Marion County.
Yeah, I'm in Marion County. Yeah.
Is that all
you
we
went
had
to
for
Meijer?
this week? Oh, yeah, I went to Meijer. I just went to Meijer because my mom's looking for a specific Christmas tree, and she wanted me to check that location.
Oh, did you find one?
Nope.
Skinny tree?
Pencil tree.
Pencil tree.
But no, they didn't have it. They've been out of stock at our Meijer and the Carmel Meijer.
Oh, wow.
And you can't order it online with Meijer. So she's just going to have to find a pencil tree in a different store.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah. What's wrong with her?
Yeah.
She uses Amazon all the time.
2024, girl. I'm just kidding. Does she listen still?
No. But even if she did, she'd think that would be funny. Okay, I have a quote of the week. It says, it says, when you can't predict the outcome of a decision, your brain sees uncertainty as a threat. So it tries to think its way to safety. And that's where overthinking comes from.
Yeah. Yup.
So, like, what would be a good example of that?
Like a relationship.
Or like a recipe, like we were just talking about. like a recipe, like we were just talking about. Like, you don't know for sure what the outcome is going to be. So
I've never made this before. I don't know if it's going to taste good. I don't know if.
Yeah. And the uncertainty is scary. So your brain tries to protect itself by overthinking it, thinking you're going to protect yourself from any outcome that could happen.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of the cognitive distortions that we've talked about, which was fortune telling, where you try to predict what's going to happen to protect yourself, but it doesn't actually protect you. You'd still be hurt whether that happened or not. And honestly, you're more hurt because now you've caused yourself so much anxiety throughout the whole process. You could just wait to see what happens, which honestly I know is easier said than done.
Yeah.
You can't
it's
just
a practice for sure.
Switch it off. Yeah, it's a skill. But yeah. What else we got?
Also, when we cooked for our families, Kelsey was supposed to come over and help me, but she wasn't able to come. And at first, I was like, calm down. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And but there's a small, tiny percentage of me that was like, fucking goddamn it, shit. Oh my God. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do without her? Like, I almost wanted to, like, my, like, little piece of me was like, don't even text her back. Like, let her feel it. Let her feel your disappointment.
Knowing I was going through it too.
I know. And I was like, no, this is not about you. Like, and then I said, hey, it's okay. No worries. Like, and then you're like, hey, let me know if you need them. I'm like, yeah, sure.
I was still going to make myself available to you, just not in person.
Well, and then she did.
Yeah.
And then she did come help me. And I thought to myself, like, damn, like, what if I would have been a bitch?
What a bad person for thinking these things.
I know. I was like, what if I would have, like, ignored her and not texted her back? Like,
then I want to come over here.
Yeah, then she wouldn't have come over here. So I'm like, see?
Honestly,
more bees with honey than vinegar.
Honestly, the best work I did was calming down Mario. And I didn't really do a lot to calm him down anyway. I was just like, you're okay, calm down.
And I wanted to tell Kelsey, like, while it was happening, but I'm like, it's not for me to say anything. Yeah. And then you came over and I kind of just gave you a look.
Yeah.
And then Mario told her himself.
As soon as I walked into the kitchen, Mario was like, yeah, I'm being a big baby right now. I'm like, okay, let's check the rice.
Like, you would think, like, we were cooking for, like...
Yeah, like the president. It's literally your own family.
Sorry, I'm not, like, laughing at him. We laugh about it now. Yeah, we're good. He's fine. It was some little mental freak out.
Everybody has a mentee bee sometimes.
Yeah, mentee bee.
What? Yep.
Love
It's just a little mentee bee.
Yeah.
And, okay, the thing I was going to tell you on the podcast today.
Wait, have you heard the phrase, I'm about to have a BF?
Bitch fit?
Oh my God, you know
it's from White Chicks.
I also quoted White Chicks today when I was trying to fit my foot in a shoe. And then Mario was like, I think you need a bigger size. I'm like, honey, you never need a bigger size. So you just got to jam it in there. And then he didn't get it at first. He's like, if you have to squeeze it in, it's not going to.
That was perfect. Oh, you should have made a TikTok of that. That would have been so funny.
I was like there in the store.
How
like,
you never need a bigger size.
Anyway.
So, you know how on Instagram, when you're watching reels, you can see if your friends have liked that reel, right?
Oh, yeah. I love that feature. It tells me so much about my friends.
Yeah. So I do this thing, and you tell me if you do it too, but probably not, because I don't like that many reels. But
I do.
I'll see a reel, and I'll be like, oh my God, this is so fun. I'm going to send it to Angelica. And then I see that you've already liked it. I'm like, this bitch didn't send it to me. What the fuck? Do you think like that? Like, do you see other people like it and like, damn, why didn't they send that to me?
No. I honestly don't really look at the likes. Now they have that feature the picture will pop up.
Yeah, like the bubble.
Yeah. But before then I almost didn't unless
you were going to go send it.
No. Unless it was something inappropriate and I saw someone in a relationship like it and I'm like,
oh yeah,
wow, that's messy, but whatever.
Wow.
That's it. That's why okay, so there's this girl with a big butt. I went down a rabbit hole.
I went down a rabbit hole.
And you know who were liking her pictures? My cousin, who's supposedly happily married, which I'm not saying if you like these videos are not happily married, but I just like,
ew.
Like I've said before to an ex-partner, Mario's don't do this at all. Mm-hmm. But like, you can look, just don't like it. Like,
yeah. All you have to do is do nothing at all.
Do nothing. Mm-hmm. That's it.
What kind of satisfaction do you get from liking the photo?
Well, it's their algorithm that they're building.
Ah.
They want more. They're telling Instagram that they want more. Yeah, so I saw that.
You want more. You want more. If you know that quote, leave it in the comments below.
I don't.
It's an old AT&T commercial.
Well, that's why I've started to see who likes it. It's because of that. But no, like anytime I get a reel, it's always you, Mario, or my friend Jessica from. Oh, bleep that out. And like, there's certain things that I send to each person. Dumb kids getting hurt or pets like dogs, Jessica.
Yeah.
Anything with mental health, ever friendship or like ex-partners or toxicity or bad whatever, like red flags.
Wow, that's a lot of categories for me.
That's you. Yeah. And whenever it's Mario, it's either something sweet or funny or stupid or like if I want like someone gives a good relationship advice, I'll send it to him. Yeah, you guys are top 3.
I sent Mario a gift idea for you today.
Oh.
He hasn't seen it yet.
Oh.
So if you're hearing this, Mario, you should go check your Instagram messages.
Wait, I already got my Christmas/birthday present.
You know he can't help himself.
That's true. I'm always like, are you good on money? Like, are you good?
Like,
you don't have to
check your bank account first.
I don't need much. So
yeah. All right. What do we got for today?
Oh my God, guys. This is an episode that we were wanting to release right after the election. Obviously, it's been pushed back. Yep. You know,
speaking on being pushed back, sorry about the inconsistency lately. We're going to work on being a little bit more I'm going to work on being a little bit more consistent. Like this week's episode didn't come out until like 2:00 or something on Wednesday. I don't know if you noticed, but I forgot to upload it before I left the house that morning. So I had Travis upload it to the drive so that I could upload it when I got to work. And then by the time I got to work, I forgot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So sorry about that. YouTube on getting our YouTube thumbnail more of a graphic rather than just our photo. So that's coming up. But yeah, so sorry about inconsistencies. We're going to work on that. Go ahead.
Nothing, just you do a lot for the podcast, so
it's hard, especially because like the holidays recently, and then we were going through this thing with our car, and like just there's just so much, and work is just filling my brain, so like my brain just does not have extra anything. Like this week, because my brain has been so filled, I left my lunch at home 2 days in a row.
I hate when that happens.
Like I packed it,
yeah.
And it was out, like, waiting for me to take it, and I just walked out the door without it. What the fuck? And so then I have to text Travis, like, hey, my lunch is hanging on the chair. Like, put it back in the fridge.
Yep.
You were saying? We wanted to do this right after the election.
Okay, guys. So this is not... Look, we're not politicians. We're not experts here. I just think we could all use a little bit of education on how voting works, how laws get made. Because the posts that I saw on Facebook from people, y'all just really don't know how this works.
And maybe that's not your fault.
No. Yeah.
Ignorance is not always your fault.
However, I did see plenty of posts that were very ignorant. And when someone tried to educate them, they flat out were like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Hey, as long as it doesn't
benefit me.
Yeah. Or like, oh, that doesn't affect me, so I don't really care.
Right.
Which is very unfortunate.
Well, it's someone wants to try to make posts about other people, like something that does affect other people's lives that's not affecting theirs, and kind of just like spewing it like it doesn't matter, or spewing it like, in this instance, like you're saying, like when somebody comes up with facts and they're like, oh, well, I don't care. Literally. Well, you should have cared before you even said something in the first place, because the reason you don't care is because it doesn't affect you, but it does affect other people. And that's really selfish of you to not care that it does affect other people. And I think we're seeing that a lot this election, is that the selfishness is...
People just don't care.
Through the roof.
People really don't care. As they just want cheaper eggs, which I'm like, the president doesn't set the price of eggs, right?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Don't argue with us, because we don't care.
We just want everybody to have a little bit more education on how it does work. So these will be facts about how the government works.
We're not super educated on this either. We're all going to learn together.
Right.
We just thought, maybe we should have, maybe we should have put this out before the election, but like,
yeah,
our platform's really not that large. So
all two of you.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so I think to start, which guys, learning the 3 branches of government. Okay, we learned about this in school. Let me give you a refresher. Okay, there's the executive, the judicial, right?
Judicial.
Why is that judicial?
You said judicial.
Judicial.
That's right.
Okay, legislative.
Yeah.
And I just exited and went out.
Okay, so executive is like, and legislative is who makes the laws.
Yes, correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay. So, I just exited another one. Stop doing that. Oh my
Angelica.
God. Okay, so this is from whitehouse.gov. Okay. The legislative branch. Why do I do that? The legislative branch.
The legislative branch. Branch. Continue.
Established by Article 1 of the Constitution, the legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate, which together form the United States Congress. The Constitution grants Congress the sole authority to enact legislation and declare war, the right to confer powers. This is who really runs the country, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
The House of Representatives is made up of 435 elected members divided among the 50 states in proportion to their total population. In addition, there are 6 non-voting members representing the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and 4 other territories of the United States: American Samoa, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands. The presiding officer of the chamber is the Speaker of the House, elected by the representatives. He or she is third in the line of succession to the presidency. Ooh, I didn't know that. Members of the House are elected every 2 years and must be 25 years of age, a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years, and a resident of the state, but not necessarily the district they represent. The House has several powers assigned exclusively to it, including the power to negotiate revenue bills, impeach federal officials, and elect the president in the case of an electoral college tie. The Senate is composed...
I didn't know that.
Tell me, this is who it really is, guys.
I'm going to look up if there's ever been an electoral college tie before.
Oh, okay. The Senate is composed of 100 senators, 2 for each state. Until the ratification of the 17th Amendment in 1913, senators were chosen by state legislatures, not by popular vote. Since then, they have been elected to 6-year terms by the people of each state. Senators' terms are staggered so that about 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election every 2 years. Senators must be 30 years of age, U.S. citizens for at least 9 years, and residents of the state they represent. The Vice President of the United States serves as President of the Senate and may cast the decisive vote in the event of a tie in the Senate. They consent and to provide advice and consent to ratify treaties. There are, however, 2 exceptions to this rule. The House must also approve appointments to the Vice Presidency and any treaty that involves foreign trade. The Senate also tries impeachment cases for federal officials referred to it by the House. In order to pass legislation and send it to the president for his or her signature, both the House and the Senate must pass the same bill by majority vote. If the president vetoes a bill, they may override his veto by passing the bill again in each chamber with at least 2/3 of each body voting in favor. Do y'all know that? Do y'all understand that? Congress can veto a president.
They can override their decision for a law with at least 2/3 vote.
I feel like y'all aren't listening. Like, oh my God. Okay. That's going to be too long.
Okay.
Let me go on to the next one. Did you find a...
I'm trying. Hold on. I'm trying.
I'm trying, okay? I'm trying my hardest.
Has there ever been a tie with the Electoral College? I had to ask you. Okay. The most famous instance occurred in 1800... in the 1800 presidential election between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr. At the time, electors cast 2 votes without specifying one for president and the other for vice president.
Oh, I remember this.
Jefferson and Burr both received 73 electoral votes, creating a tie. So this is when the election was different.
Oh, yeah, because back then, the person with the lesser votes just got vice president.
Wow.
Yeah. So they were still going to be in presidency.
I was literally saying to Travis, not in president and one Democrat president, and they had to work side by side.
Literally how it used to be. Yep.
My blood is boiling right now. Literally boiling.
The person with the lesser votes got vice president.
This event prompted the passage of the 12th Amendment to the Constitution in 1804, which established separate votes for president and vice president in the Electoral College. Another notable instance of the electoral gridlock occurred in 1824 election, where no candidate received a majority of electoral votes. The election was decided in the House of Representatives under the terms of the 12th Amendment, with John Quincy Adams ultimately winning. Interesting. I'm learning so much, guys.
I know. All right, the executive branch.
Yes.
The power of the executive branch is vested in the President of the United States, who also acts as head of state and commander enforcing the laws written by Congress, and, to that end, appoints the heads of the federal agencies, including the cabinet.
I like how it said the president is responsible for enforcing the laws.
I know.
That sounds like the president is like busting into people's houses enforcing the laws. But I guess you could say, no, not even that. I was going to say, I guess you could say enforcing states to enforce, you know, like down the line of chain of command. Mm-hmm. But even that, like states still have sovereignty in certain cases. It's
literally Congress like whispering into the president's ears, heck, hey, make everyone, you know, apply to this or apply this law to everybody. Yeah. And then they are the face of, hey, go do that. They're the puppet, literally.
Yeah.
Presidency should the need arise. The cabinet and independent federal agencies are responsible for the day-to-day enforcement and administration of federal laws. These departments and agencies have missions and responsibilities as widely divergent as those of the Department of Defense and the Environmental Protection Agency, the Social Security Administration, and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Including members of the armed forces, the executive branch employs more than 4 million Americans. I got something in my eye. Okay. The president, okay. The president is both the head of the state and head of the government of the United States of America and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Under Article 2 of the Constitution, the president is responsible for the Under Article 2 of the Constitution, the president is responsible for the execution and enforcement of laws created by Congress. 15 executive departments, each led by an appointed member of the president's cabinet, by other executive agencies such as the CIA and Environmental Protection Agency, the heads of which are not part of the cabinet, but who are under the full authority of the president. The president who also appoints the heads of more than 50 independent federal commissions, such as the Federal Reserve Board or the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as federal judges, ambassadors, and other federal offices. The Executive Office of the Presidency, EOP, consists of the immediate staff to the president, along with entities such as the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of the United States Trade Representative. Oh, got my eye.
I think it's interesting that the president has so much power in choosing people to appoint all these commissions and departments, but not the power to do all these other things. So why is that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I think that's a little backwards.
I think it's like we still have to do what we want.
You know, not to be leaning one way or another with this comment, but you know, some of the people that he's already appointed to lead these departments are like celebrities.
Yeah. There was that guy who fucking drugged and raped his daughter. Mm-hmm.
And Vince McMahon's wife, the head of WWF, WWE, Vince McMahon.
His wife? For what?
Education.
Oh, God. Help us all. Okay. The president has the power to either sign legislation into law or to veto bills enacted by Congress, although Congress may override a veto with a 2/3 vote of both houses. Mm-hmm. The executive branch conducts diplomacy with other nations in the... Like, when people say, oh, yeah, they want to talk this big talk that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. That's their plan. Mm-hmm. That's what they want to do.
Right. But they still have to go through all the branches of the government and the departments to get it done.
It's not that they're lying to you.
And then if the bill doesn't get voted in, then it goes back and gets put back in again. They amend it and they do it again.
And it keeps going, right?
And that takes time, weeks and months and years.
Mm-hmm. The executive branch conducts diplomacy with other nations, and the president has the power to negotiate and sign treaties, which the Senate ratifies. I already read that.
I'm sorry, pause real quick.
Yeah.
I just thought of a good example of that.
Yeah.
Remember in the feminism episode, we talked about the Violence Against Women's Act, which was introduced in the 70s.
Yeah, by Joe
Biden. And it did not get enforced until 1994.
24 years.
It took 24 years. So common sense. It's such a common sense law.
Like, why would you deny that? Mm-hmm. What's your reasoning? Mm-hmm. For 24 fucking years.
Yep. I would love to see what had to be amended on it to get it passed.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, what was the original? Mm-hmm. The president can issue executive orders which direct executive officers or clarify and further existing laws. The president also has the power to extend pardons and clemencies for federal crimes. With these powers come several responsibilities.
What?
With great power comes great responsibility. Among them, a constitutional requirement to, from time to time, give to the Congress information of the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. Although the president may fulfill this requirement in any way he or she chooses, presidents have traditionally given a State of the Union address 2 years, outlining their agenda for the upcoming year. Mm-hmm. The Constitution lists only 3 qualifications for the presidency. Here we go.
Oh, Lord.
The president must be at least 35 years of age. Let's top that number. Let's ceiling it. Mm-hmm. Let's cut it off.
What's the max age?
Yeah, let's cut it off at like 50 or 60.
Yeah, I'd say 60 max.
My God. Mm-hmm. Okay, so must be at least 35 years of age, be a natural born citizen, which, did you know about like birthright citizenship and natural born citizenship? There's a difference. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that. And must have lived in the United States for at least 14 years. And though millions of Americans vote in a presidential election every 4 years, the president is not, in fact, directly elected by the people, which we know this, hopefully. Instead,
go back to the Trump versus Clinton presidency.
Yes.
Or election, not presidency.
In November of every 4th year.
The first Tuesday after the first Monday?
That's what it
Why
said.
did they word it like that?
No.
Oh, there has to be a Monday before the first Tuesday?
But there's always a Monday before Tuesday.
Nuh-uh. What if Tuesday's the first day of the month?
Oh, okay. Right. No, I get it. Yeah, there's always okay. We get it. The first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of every 4th year, the people elect the members of the Electoral College. We will get into that. Apportioned by population to the 50 states for each member of their congressional delegation, with the District of Columbia receiving 3 votes. 3 votes.
You said it so so confidently. 3 votes. Wait, was there another word that made you say you just all willy-nilly said 3 votes?
Why do I do that? Like my accent like cuts out. It just dies.
3 votes. Yep, definitely 3 votes.
These electors then cast the votes for president. There are currently 538 electors in the Electoral College. Okay, the president is limited to 2 4-year terms, but until the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in 1951, a president could serve an unlimited number of terms. I don't like
so
that.
1951 was the first year they capped it at 2 terms?
Yes.
Wow. We really would have to move out of this country.
That would be horrific.
Yeah.
However, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
The funniest part of this whole episode is going to be you just mispronouncing everything.
He was elected president 4 times.
He was a good president, I've heard. So that's good.
That's why he was elected 4 times.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't always indicate that they're a good president. But anyway.
No, I have heard like separately that he was a good president.
I rescind my comment.
Yeah. And he had a good first lady too. She did a lot of work in the stuff.
Not the aliens one?
What?
Is he the one that like proposed the research into aliens?
Maybe he did, now that you say that.
And she like also was part of that?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably because of like UFOs and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
An episode on the Roosevelts coming up soon.
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. The vice president. The primary responsibility of the vice president of the United States is to be ready at a moment's notice to assume the presidency if the president is unable to perform his or her duties.
And they can't be on the plane at the same time.
Ooh.
They can't be on Air Force One at the same time because he gets shot down.
Makes sense. This can be because of the president's death, resignation, or temporary incapacitation, or if the vice president and a majority of the cabinet judge that the president is no longer able to discharge the duties of the presidency, which is what happened with Joe Biden. Okay.
And I think during Trump's last presidency, he had COVID for a while, and Mike Pence took like
a couple months, I thought. Yeah. No, it's not y'all. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of posts saying like, she didn't do anything while she was vice president. You expect her to do something while she's president? Bro, she couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Literally could not do anything. She holds no power.
Yeah, did you hear us say anything about the vice president's power in anything that we've said so far?
Oh my God.
And like you were saying before, this takes years for things to happen. So before something would actually happen, you wouldn't see the results of it until the next 4-year term.
Yes, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
The vice president is elected along with the president by the Electoral College. Each elector casts 1 vote for president and another for vice president. Before the ratification of the 12th Amendment in 1804, electors only voted for president, and the person who received the second greatest number of votes became vice president, which is what we talked about earlier. Yep. This is when I learned about it. I was like, wait.
I even learned that in school.
Oh, now.
You can't even say no correctly. Oh, no.
The vice president also serves as the president of the United States Senate, where he or she casts the deciding vote in the case of a tie. Except in the case of a tie-breaking vote, the vice president rarely actually presides over the Senate. They literally cannot do anything.
Boom, son.
Instead, the Senate selects one of their own members, usually junior members of the majority party, to preside over the Senate each day.
I would say that also maybe vice president, another job that a vice president would do is to do more like face of the presidency community work, like going out into the community and being the face of the presidency, whereas the president can't really do that. They can't really go out into the community because it's dangerous for them to do so. Mm-hmm. Vice president. But
I'll read this. Kamala D. Harris is the 49th Vice President of the United States. She is the first woman and first woman of color to be elected to this position. The duties of the Vice President, outside of those enumerated in the Constitution, are at the discretion of the current president. So each Vice President approaches the role differently. Some take on a specific policy portfolio. Others serve simply as a top advisor to the president. Of the 48 previous vice presidents, 9 have succeeded to the presidency and 5 have been elected to the presidency in their own right. Okay, that's pretty much all of it there. So now, lastly, the judicial branch. I did it again. Judicial. Okay. The people, members of the judicial branch, are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. Article 3 of the Constitution, which establishes the judicial branch.
You can't say the and then judicial back to back.
The judicial leaves Congress significant discretion to determine the shape and structure of the federal judiciary. Even the number of Supreme Court justices is left to Congress. At times, there have been as few as 6, while the current number, 9, with 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices, has only been in place since 1869. The Constitution also grants Congress the power to establish courts inferior to the Supreme Court, and to that end, Congress has established the United States District Courts, which try most federal cases, and the 13 United States Courts of Appeal can only be removed through impeachment by the House of Representatives and conviction in the Senate. Judges and justices serve no fixed term. They serve until their death. My God. Retirement or conviction by the Senate. By design, this insulates them from the temporary passions of the public and allows them to apply the law with only justice in mind and not electoral or political concerns. But once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time for political concerns and bias to come up.
Yeah.
And humans cannot be expected to not have bias at this level.
Maybe they can evolve.
True. I'm saying that, like, these people are holding other people's lives in their hands.
No, I know.
And they can't be expected to be completely unbiased.
Yeah.
And so it's saying that this rule being politically swayed, that's just totally untrue.
Right.
One thing you see on the news can make you politically slayed. Slay.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I'm not sure what the science is behind that. Maybe we need to do some more research about that. Not we, but someone.
Yeah. Not us. No.
Not our research. Someone else's research. Very important research.
Generally, Congress determines the jurisdiction of the federal courts. In some cases, however, such as the example of a dispute between 2 or more U.S. states. Wow. The Constitution grants the Supreme Court original jurisdiction and authority that cannot be stripped by Congress. The courts only try actual cases and controversies. A party must show that it has been harmed in order to bring suit in court. This means that the courts do not issue advisory if the ruling would have no practical effect. Cases brought before the judiciary typically proceed from district court to appellate court and may even end at the Supreme Court, although the Supreme Court hears comparatively few cases each year. The rest is kind of boring. Okay, so we know about the 3 branches. Hallelujah. Yep. There is that. Yep. So next thing I'm ready to talk about is the Electoral College. Okay. This is from archives.gov, the National Archives. This says, what is the electoral... Wow. Okay. I need a drink.
I think you just start too hot. You're like, all right, here we go.
No, I want to talk. I'm telling you, like, my brain goes so fast, my mouth cannot keep up.
Yeah, your brain wants to say all 5 words in one syllable.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
That, like, that one video, like, when my boss asked me to do anything this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching that video from your story, and Cash was like, I want to see. So I showed it to him, and he thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
He goes, a chicken. I said, no, that's a turkey.
Close, buddy.
But very close.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah. I'll give you points for that.
Okay. The Electoral College is a process, not a place. The founding fathers established it in the Constitution in part as a compromise between the election of the president by a vote in Congress and election of the president.
Who qualifies them?
Well,
popular vote of qualified citizens. Got it.
having the right to vote.
I thought you said the electoral vote.
Oh, no.
Never mind. I got confused.
Yeah, no. So this is basically, like I said, a compromise between Congress being able to elect president and the people being able to, which is kind of
still not a compromise.
Why isn't it a popular vote?
The Congress still has the power in the situation.
Literally. It's a suggestion to them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the people want this president. We want this one. Okay. What is the process? The Electoral College process consists of the selection of the electors, meeting of the electors where they vote for president and vice president, and the counting of the electoral votes by Congress. How many electoral? I'm not going to read the questions. That's so dumb of me.
Okay.
The Electoral College consists of the Electoral College consists of 538 electors. A majority of 270 electoral votes is required to elect the president. Your state has the same number of electorals as it does members in its congressional delegation, one for each member in the House of Representatives plus 2 senators. The District of Columbia is elected 3 electors and treated like a state for purposes of the Electoral College under the 23rd Amendment of the Constitution.
This article is just trying to torture you with the number of electoral is in one sentence.
Oh my God. For this reason, in the following discussion, the word state also refers to the District of Columbia and executive to the state governors and mayor of the District of Columbia.
You know what I don't understand? The District of Columbia, Virginia.
Yeah.
But it's its own
Washington.
state. But it's in its own state.
Yeah.
It is its own state.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So what's weird is like, it gets confusing when like, okay, for instance, we're licensed in all 50 states. Plus DC
Columbia, yeah.
and the DEA. So it's hard to say like, us will be licensed in their state to send prescriptions there. So we can send prescriptions to 51 states, but we're only licensed in 50 states, but not licensed in Massachusetts. Why does it need to be that confusing? That's what I want to know. Anybody got the answer to that? Seriously, let's look up the history of DC. Why is DC its own sovereign state? Or not state, but like its own sovereign government. I don't know how to explain it.
Washington, D.C., formerly the District of Columbia and commonly known as Washington or D.C., is the capital city and is the capital city and federal district of the United States and borders with Maryland to its north and east. It was named after George Washington, the first president of the United States. The district is named after Columbia, the female personification of the nation.
What? Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
The U.S. Constitution in 1789 called for the creation of a federal district under the exclusive jurisdiction of the U.S. Congress. As such, Washington, D.C. is not part of any state and is not one itself. The Residence Act, adopted on July 16, 1790, approved the creation of the capital district along the Potomac River. The city was founded in 1791.
I get it now. Can I just explain it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So there's 50 states.
Okay.
They're all sovereign states, right?
Right.
And then the federal government is DC.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, that's what I thought.
It just so happens to be located in Virginia.
Okay.
It is not a part of Virginia. Well, it might be, some parts might be a part of Virginia's state government, but DC is just representing the federal government. So control of the entire country, control of Congress, or Congress's control.
It just so happens to be there.
It just so happens to be in Virginia. Yeah. Well, and it doesn't help that it makes it more confusing that they call it Washington and there's a separate state called Washington.
I call it DC.
People will be like, oh, in Washington, talking about the government. Like, it even said it in that article.
Yeah, that is a bit confusing, actually. But
it even said it in that article that people call it Washington.
Just say DC. Okay. Just just exited out of something else and I don't remember what it was.
She's just over here exiting everything.
Okay.
She can't talk. She can't not exit out of things.
Congress is the lawmaking branch of the federal government. Learn how a bill becomes a law and how the process is different in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. Okay. How a bill becomes a law. Number 1, a bill is proposal. Wow.
A bill is proposal.
Number 1, a bill is a proposal for a new law or a change to an existing law. The idea for a bill can come from a sitting member of the U.S. Senate. From the U.S. Senate or House of Representatives.
The U.S. Senate.
Oh my God.
What are we going to title this episode?
Or House of Representatives. America's a joke. Like,
no, it should be like if we were going to name it like
something for dummies.
Or I was thinking, sorry, gummies, but the government for gummies. Because we keep messing up all the words.
I don't think that'd be smart to do that.
Why?
People aren't going to understand. People are going to think we're idiots if you actually name that.
They'll know it's a bit. I mean, not that specifically, but I'm saying that something like that where...
You know what? It's our podcast. You do what you want.
It's our podcast.
The government for gummies.
You do what you want.
The government for gummies. You're right. I like that. My boob keeps hurting. The idea for a bill can come from a sitting member.
The idea from a bill can come from sitting on a member.
The idea for a bill can come from a sitting member of the U.S. Senate or House of Representatives or be proposed during their election campaign. Bills can also be petitioned by people or citizen groups who recommend it. Number 2, once a bill is introduced, it is assigned to a committee whose members will research, discuss, and make changes to the bill. Number 3, the bill is then put before that chamber to be voted on. Number 4, if the bill passes one body of Congress, it goes to the other body to go through a similar process of research, discussion, changes, and voting. Number 5, once both bodies vote to accept a bill, they must work out any differences between the two versions. Then both chambers vote on the same version of the bill. If it passes, they present it to the president. Number 6, the president then considers the bill. The president can approve the bill and sign it into law, or the president can refuse to approve a bill. This is called a veto. Number 7, if the president chooses to veto a bill, in most cases, Congress can vote to override that veto, and the bill will become a law. In most cases, Congress can vote, the bill becomes a law.
In most cases.
In most cases, y'all.
Yep.
But if the president does not sign off on a bill and it remains unsigned when Congress is no longer in session, the bill will be vetoed by default. This action is called a pocket veto, and it cannot be overridden by Congress. That's the only way. As if he just refuses to sign.
Yeah.
And it's no longer in session, which I don't know what that means, but yeah.
There we are.
It barely happens, so yeah. I think that's okay. So now that we've learned a little bit about all that, I think people, it's so crazy. We went to a party yesterday and they were talking about politics, and all I kept thinking, it matters Republican or Democrats, right? Like, it matters because they each have a plan on what they want to enforce. And that's what matters. And that's what people are not talking about.
Right.
So I'm sure plenty of you have heard about Project 2025. I did read some of it. Obviously not all of it because it's like 900 pages or some shit. Yeah. So you can read it for free online. Feel free, please.
I bet ChatGPT wrote it.
Who?
ChatGPT.
Hey guys, did you know?
We have merch.
Like
Really nice and cheap merch.
really nice and cheap.
Like t-shirts are like $15.
$15.
And we have magnets for $5 and stickers for $5.
Yep.
That's the cheapest thing on the store. We also have phone cases, hoodies, hats. Do it for the matriarchy merch, which those t-shirts are around $15. So go check that out. You can find it in our link tree on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Or if you can't find it, just message us and we'll help you.
Get one for yourself, your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your kids. Your grandma, your grandpa, aunt,
your
uncle,
brother, your
cousins.
sister. Everybody. All right, go check it out.
Okay, bye. Okay. First and foremost, the ACLU doesn't endorse or oppose candidates for elected office, but we recognize that the re-election of Donald Trump as president will have immense implications for the future of our democratic norms, institutions, and processes. In 2022, the Heritage Foundation, a conservative-leaning think tank, and 140 former Trump staffers authorized Project 2025, a roadmap for how to replace the rule of law with ring-wing ideals.
Right wing?
It says ring wing. It's ACLU.org. Knows what they're talking about.
Okay.
I know. I thought that too when I first saw it. Okay, guys. So what is Project 2025? You ask. Project 2025 is a federal policy agenda and blueprint for a radical restructuring of the executive branch authored and published by former Trump administration officials in partnership with the Heritage Foundation, a longstanding conservative think tank that opposes abortion and reproductive rights, LGBTQ rights, immigrants' rights, and racial equity. Project 2025's largest publication, Mandate for Leadership, is a 900-page manual for reorganizing the entire federal government agency by agency to serve a conservative agenda. Literally terrifying. Literally terrifying.
Yeah.
Restructuring
the government, period, sounds terrifying.
And extreme policy recommendations touching on nearly every aspect of American life, from immigration and abortion rights to free speech and racial justice. A number of its recommendations rely on support from the executive branch and from Congress. Many other initiatives are outright unconstitutional, literally.
I keep forgetting to say into the mic.
Project 2025 calls for hundreds of individual policy changes that will impact our constitutional freedoms in every aspect of our lives. Among them are gutting abortion access, severely limiting abortion access nationwide by reversing the FDA's approval of mifepristone, a drug used in medication abortion, and reviving a 19th century law, the Comstock Act, to ban any abortion medications, equipment, or materials from being sent through the U.S. Postal Service. What the fuck? Mass deportations.
Well,
oh yeah, please.
You can still be pro-life and believe. You can still be pro-life and this law be a bad idea. And here's why.
Yeah.
Because in any medical setting, even a fetus that is no longer viable, the procedure is still listed as an abortion. So women who have dead fetuses in their body that need to be removed or else they will die, their procedure will still be listed as an abortion. So there are medical professionals that are refusing to treat people because they're afraid they'll be locked up in jail for this. And it's already happening in states that have banned abortion. Women have already died in states that have banned abortion because their fetus died and
which they have no control over.
Which they have no control over. And has already, has not stay in the womb, or else that person will die of sepsis, which is a, full body infection, organ shutting down, everything. So let me repeat that again. You can still be pro-life and believe that these laws are a bad idea. Maybe if, and this is my opinion, maybe if there was better wording in the medical field to separate the two things, abortion being, the termination of a live fetus and, a different word for the termination of a dead fetus, this wouldn't be so life-threatening. This would be still a trample on women's rights, reproductive rights, but it would not be life or death for a lot of women.
Mm-hmm. I had seen a comment a while back on that specific topic. I think it was a man. I mean, of course it was a man, but basically the man was like, well, how do you know that the woman didn't induce her fetus to die? Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck?
Actually was doing my radio presets in my new car this morning, and I came across a Christian radio show or whatever, and they were talking about abortion. I was like, oh, let me just listen for a second here and listen. And actually they were pro-abortion. This Christian radio show was pro-abortion. And they were saying, this woman, she was on there, she goes, we know, and I hope more than a few people know that women are not out here getting pregnant with the intention of aborting their baby.
Right.
No one gets pregnant nobody's just out here willy-nilly getting pregnant, intending on like, oh, well, if I get pregnant and I don't want it, I can just abort. Like, this is a very terrible and
awful decision to have to make.
Yes. Nobody
mentally, physically, emotionally, like,
no.
People don't understand that. Like, this is not
because they've never been in this situation.
And be fucking grateful that you haven't been. Mm-hmm. Literally blows my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Mass deportations. Targeting immigrant communities through mass deportations and raids, ending birthright citizenship, separating families, and dismantling our nation's asylum system. Which, when I read this, I was like, sorry, what? Ending birthright citizenship?
Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Okay. This is the tab that I close out, so I have to...
I also have history of immigration.
Okay, yeah, you can do that part.
Now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, yeah, you can, but let me read this real quick.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if you were wanting me to do it while you were looking for what you were looking for. But yeah, I think it'd be better. You do.
Okay, so birthright citizenship definition in the United States. Most people born within the country's territory are guaranteed citizenship by the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. This amendment was adopted in 1868 and overturned the 1857 Supreme Court decision in Dred Scott versus Stanford, which denied citizenship to African Americans. Birthright citizenship can help prevent statelessness. Countries that have signed the 1961 Convention of the Reduction of Statelessness are required to grant citizenship to people born in their territory who would otherwise be stateless. Guys, that's me. Mm-hmm. Okay? I was born within this territory, and he's trying to take that away.
Mm-hmm. You were explaining it to me that it would make your citizenship invalid because your parents' citizenship was
American citizenship should only be given to those whose parents are natural born citizens. Mm-hmm.
Which, if we went all the way back in ancestry, none of our ancestors are natural born citizens. And we'll talk about that.
So, for example, if your parents are not natural born citizens, meaning they themselves were born here, mm-hmm. right? And then they gave birth to you here in the United States.
Your citizenship would be stripped.
Your citizenship will be stripped. Mm-hmm. Which is majority of the people who I have on my Facebook. And it's so sad to have learned that they voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. When their parents literally are not U.S. citizens, mm-hmm. not natural born citizens, mm-hmm. it blows my mind. They could have parents who then later in life became citizens. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. That's exactly, he doesn't care.
For years now where it's like, well, if they just did it the right way and came here legally. Oh my God,
shut the fuck up.
But then this totally strips that as well. This is taking every person who's not a white American out of the country.
Yep.
And then when you told me about this, I said, oh, so how far back are we going? If we're going back to, were our parents natural born citizens, how far back are we going? Because my ancestors were not natural born citizens. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't have Indian heritage in me.
Melania Trump was not a natural born citizen.
Boom. So she's got to get deported too?
Are her kids being stripped of mm-hmm. their citizenship?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Literally dumbest shit I've ever fucking read in my entire fucking life.
Yep.
Now, deportations are backed up several years. I don't want to inflict fear, but this is on his agenda. Mm-hmm. That's being wanting to be pushed. And, I've heard too, like, oh, Obama deported millions of immigrants. We just didn't hear about it. You guys didn't hear about Did we not just read about how Congress rules everything? And how it takes time? So these could be stuff that's already been in process before he even became president.
Even if Obama deported millions of immigrants, we are talking about Obama deporting millions of immigrants, not Obama wiping the nation of every colored face in the continental United States. You want to do history next, or just tell me when to do history?
I mean, I'm almost done.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Surveillance, exploiting the executive branch's vast and unprecedented powers to spy on Americans' lives with warrantless surveillance of our data, which is already happening.
Also, you know, when Roe v. Wade was turned over, women stopped using period tracking apps because they were afraid that the government would use it against them.
Oh my God.
So they had to specifically look for period tracking apps that were encrypted and that the government did not have access to. That's crazy that there were only a few of them that the government would not have access to, that were protected by privacy rights.
Guys, listen to this next one. Unleashing undue force on protesters. Violating the First Amendment by using federal law enforcement to target journalists and protesters. Severely limiting voting access. Abusing executive power to interfere in our elections by criminalizing the voting process and damaging fair representation. Censoring critical discussions in classrooms, censoring academic discussions about race, gender, and systemic oppression in violation of the First Amendment, and promising to cut federal funding for schools with curricula that touch on those subjects. Rolling back trans rights, weaponizing federal law to require states and private actors to discriminate against transgender people by threatening to sue schools that protect the rights of trans students, or telling hospitals that they would lose their Medicaid funding if they provide gender-affirming medical care to trans adolescents.
So I have some history on immigration because, like we've said just a few minutes ago, you know, actually there was a video I saw on Instagram yesterday during Thanksgiving that said, I thought I took a screenshot of it. Oh no, I shared it on my Instagram story. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. Here it goes.
So, pilgrims are really just undocumented immigrants that didn't want to learn the language and wanted free food assistance.
Should I play that again?
So, pilgrims are really just undocumented immigrants that didn't want to learn the language.
Did y'all think about that while you were celebrating Thanksgiving yesterday? That this was stolen land? That your ancestors stole this land from other people? And mine too. I'm not saying it's not mine, but like, think about that.
Did you see that video about Mount Everest? Or sorry, Mount Rushmore?
Mount Everest is like in another country.
I'm totally going to botch this, so please do your own research. But basically, Mount Rushmore, where the president's faces are
sculpted.
Yeah, was sacred land for the indigenous people, the Native Americans that live there. And they actually had a treaty with the government. And they basically were like, hey, you stay over there and we stay over here. And it was very sacred to them. I think that's where they went to go, like, be in touch with, like, one day the government was like, hey, I want to buy your land. And they're like, we're not for sale. And the government was like, well, we're taking it. And they took that area. I forget what it's called. I'm so sorry. I'm going to look it up right now because I feel like I'm being disrespectful. And then they not only stole their land by force, and then they put their fucking faces on there.
That's so fucking disrespectful. Not only to stealing the land, but such a slap in the face to then put the president's faces there. If you don't know, we stole the state of Hawaii. Look that up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
We literally stole it.
Awful.
By, like, being sneaky and forceful and disgusting.
Mount Rushmore is on sacred land. It used to be called the Black Hills, where Mount Rushmore is carved, are sacred to many Native American tribes, including the horrible. They consider them, the Black Hills, the heart of everything that is. The Treaty of 1868, the U.S. government promised the Sioux, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that they would maintain control of the Black Hills in perpetuity. However, the government forced the Sioux to give up the Black Hills after gold was discovered in the 1870s. That's why.
Wow. Money is still the face of everything.
Yeah, the creation of Mount Rushmore is seen by some as a desecration of the sacred land. The carving of the 4 presidents' heads into the mountains is also seen by some as having a negative symbolism. Yep. The demand for land back. Some indigenous people are demanding the return of their land, saying that non-indigenous so it's America as a whole is just a big steaming pot of hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm. It's like the worst ancestors from any given area.
I also saw that someone had posted a long time ago. I think they were at Mount Rushmore, and they were a little bit tanned, of like skin tone, and that racist woman was like, "Go back to where you come from," and they were like, "I'm Native American. You go back to where the fuck you come from. This is my land. Like, I was here."
Yeah. Oh, so ignorant.
And the fact, guys, well, this is.
I have 8 minutes left.
Oh fuck! Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so history of immigration. First one, colonial area. Colonial era.
Yeah, how does that feel?
1600s to 1776. Early Germany, Ireland, and Netherlands. What color are those people? Motivations included religious freedom, economic opportunities, and escape from persecution. You know what my favorite argument is?
God.
When people say, how's it go? I'm going to skip that for now because we don't have enough time. Indentured servitude was common, and enslaved Africans were forcibly brought to the colonies, marking the beginnings of slavery in the United States. So when we were just talking about wiping every colored face out of America, even though they were brought here.
Right. Against their will.
2, early republic and 19th century expansion, 1776 to 1860. Post-independence and German immigrants arrived in large numbers during the 1840s and 1850s, driven by events like the Irish potato famine and political unrest in Europe. The Chinese began arriving during the California Gold Rush, 1848 to 1855, leading to significant contributions to building railroads, but also racial tensions. 3, industrialization and the Great Wave, 1880 to 1920. The period saw a surge over 23 million immigrants, particularly from Southern and Eastern Europe, Italy, Poland, and Russia. Still white people. Many immigrants worked in factories and on infrastructure projects during rapid industrialization. Cities became melting pots of ethnic neighborhoods. Anti-immigrant sentiment grew, leading to restrictions like the Chinese exclusion. This is nativism that we're talking about. 4, restriction era, 1920 to 1965. The Immigration Act of 1924 established quotas favoring immigrants from Northern and Western Europe, severely limiting others. Literally, quote, favoring immigrants that are white, that have white skin, over those with brown skin.
Yeah.
World War II brought shifts. Some immigrants fled fascism, and programs like the Bracero program, 1942 to 1964, temporarily brought Mexican laborers to the United States. During World War II, we needed help and brought Mexican immigrants to the United States. Displaced persons and refugees from war-torn Europe were admitted after World War II. Immigrants. If you don't know that, please look that up. We don't have enough time to tell you right now. It says right error. Hopefully it's going to keep recording for a few more minutes. Displaced persons. Oh, I already said that. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 abolished quotas based on the nationality, opening the door to immigrants from Asia, Latin America, and Africa. Immigration surged with its significant contributions to U.S. culture, technology, and economy. Immigration surged with the significant contributions to the U.S. culture, technology, and economy. In recent decades, debates have focused on undocumented immigration, border security, and refugee policies.
So if y'all didn't forcibly bring them here, y'all didn't care about them.
Right. I think that's all that needs to be said.
Government for gummies.
Government for gummies.
A little bit about politics, a little bit about government, a little bit about immigration, and hopefully you guys learned something. Please, please, please look into Project 2025. We will get
Look up
through
how
this
we stole
together.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's honestly devastating.
Yeah.
It really makes you disgusted when you hear that story.
I know. We brush so much under the rug. We don't even teach this shit in school. It's ridiculous.
I didn't learn about it until like a year ago.
I learned that from Bailey Sarian.
I learned it on Ladies and Tangents. And that's why podcasts are a good thing, because we're spreading information. We're spreading actual information that people need to hear. So
that you probably would not have heard otherwise.
Yep. So we'll see y'all next week and have a good week coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.